Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back to the channel. This is something a little bit different. I've kind of touched on role-playing games before, solo role-playing games. This isn't so much your normal role-playing game, but it does kind of fit that category a little bit. There's a little bit of role-playing if you want to. Basically, it's a game called Lineage, and this is the Epoch Edition. I guess it's more of a kind of dynasty builder or a family tree builder. It's probably useful for people who maybe writing fantasy novels or maybe DM in a fantasy game, and they want a little bit of a history, a little bit of a backstory, a family tree as such. And it kind of does that. It's just a really relaxing game. Essentially, you roll up a monarch, a king or a queen, and then they marry. They have a certain number of children. Some of those children may not make it through to adult life. Then you roll up certain events, historic events that happen during that monarch's reign. Then they die, and their heir takes over. It'll all become clear. It's a little bit different. I've got a few bits here on the left-hand side, which I've already used the fantasy name generator to generate the name of our kingdom, which is Kinsberg. Our current status is rise, so there's three different statuses within the game. Your kingdom is either on the rise, it's in a golden age, or it's what they call fall. So it's on a fall, or it's going through a fall before it will rise again. There are three sort of categories of when things go wrong, and again, it'll become clear during play, hopefully. And they're weak, dishonourable, and unstable. Some things will give you points to put here. When one reaches 8, you then have to roll on another table, which is basically, it could well be the demise of your dynasty, the demise of your kingdom. We'll get to that. I've not actually got to that at all on any of the private games I've run or anything like that yet. So what I thought I'd do as well. Oh, and you have to have, with the dice, you have to have them as separate colours. So one will represent the higher number, the second one will represent the lower number. So when you roll a die, you don't add the numbers together. You look at what numbers you got. So if I roll them now, I've got a 3 on the white and a 6 on the blue. So that's 3-6, which is different to 6-3. So I would look up on that particular table, what does 3-6 mean? All right, it means this. So as I say, it will all become clear. I need first of all to roll on whether we start with a king or with a queen, and it does make a difference. It makes a difference to potentially it could make a difference to the name of your house. So I want to start with a kind of Anglo-Saxon feel. So I want the names of my kings and queens to have Anglo-Saxon names. But if we start off with a queen, and then we roll that she marries a foreigner, straight away that's not necessarily going to be Anglo-Saxon. We could go that route, but I'm probably going to tend to think, well, actually no, let's look for a Roman name, or let's look for a Latin name, let's look for whatever. So first things first, then we're going to roll one die to see if we start off with a king or a queen. I rolled a 6, so we start with a queen. So yes, potentially we are going to have a foreign name already. I think, actually thinking about it, I think I might just stick with it's another Anglo-Saxon, yeah, from a different nation, from a different kingdom. So we start off with a queen. There is something to roll on the booklet here as well, though, because it's not just a queen that we've rolled up. We need to work out what is she. Now there's a category in the book, so it could be queen something the broken, queen something the tyrant, queen something the wise. So first of all, I guess I'm going to go over to the fantasy name generator and generate our first name for our Anglo-Saxon queen. So it gives you a list of names, and I'm just going to go with the first one that I think is a good name, actually. And I've got one here. It's Queen Godwina. So Godwina. And so what is she then? Let's head over to the rule book. Let's roll our D66, as they call it. I get a 6 and a 4. I'm scrolling on the wrong thing there, aren't I? So a 6 and a 4 in the rule book tells us that she is the Valiant. So Queen Godwina the Valiant. Valiant. Okay, we're going to say then that so she marries. I mean, she might not necessarily marry a foreigner anyway. It all depends what we roll up. So she marries. I'm just going to put married to, and then there's another table to roll on because we don't know who they are yet. We don't know if they're say a foreigner or someone from a noble house. So let's roll a d66, a 2 and a 6, which means they are from a noble house known for wit. So they're not a foreigner, they are Anglo-Saxon. Let's go grab a name. And I'm going to go again. I'm going to go with the first one that I feel is just sensible. And I quite like this one here. I've got Haetheric, Haetheric. And what did I say they were? They were from a noble house known for wit. From a noble house known for their wit. Okay, and that doesn't mean the house is known for their wit. It means Haetheric is known for his wit. He will have a different surname though, won't he? Which means we are going to be the house of whatever his surname is. Now this generator, it does give me surnames. Okay, so we're going to go with. They don't sound very Anglo-Saxon, but okay. I guess the one that looks most historic to me is this one here, Kilbeck. Kilbeck. So our current house is the House of Kilbeck. Yeah, okay. That looks pretty sensible for me. So now we roll up on how many children they had. Children. Let's roll it. This time. We roll 2d6, and we do add them together, and we've got 2. Now we find out how many survived. We could already be at the end of our. That's going to be near on impossible, because now I roll a 1. That is almost impossible. If I'd rolled anything more than a 1, that would have meant we had no children reach adulthood. So 1 died during childhood. I've never had that happen yet. That should have been, how on earth, we've basically rolled 3 1s in a row. 1 died during childhood. So we are going to now what I do is I roll 1d6. Odd numbers are male, even numbers are female. So the first child is that's a 5, so it's a male. And the second is a 6, that is a female. So now we need to find out which one died. Odd numbers have died during childhood, even numbers they survived. The male, he survived. The female, that's a 5, they died. If that had been an even as well, I'd have just gone back to the male and it would have just kept going like a rotation. So the female is the one who died during childhood. Childhood. I'll still give her a name. So the male, let's go back to our generator and let's grab a male name. I'm going to go with Alfwald. Alfwald. Yeah, A-E-L-F Wald. So the next king, the next monarch is going to be King Alfwald. We will use the traditional British way of succession, which is eldest male, and then when there is no more males in the line, the eldest female or their descendants. Or I know it's a little bit sexist, it's a little bit outdated, but it's what we do in the UK still, and I'm just for my own peace of mind and my own kind of sanity, stick with something simple and something that I know. So the female then, let's give her a name. And Edusa I quite like. The first one I sort of saw there. So Edusa. They died during childhood. Now we roll 1d6 and find out how many historical events we had, how many historical events Queen Godwina had. And we roll a 1. That's what, 4 1s in a row now then? 1 event. Okay, so our kingdom is currently on the rise. So we roll on the rise table. Let me just find that. Roll on the rise. Okay, D66 again. If I get 2 1s again, that's got to be some kind of miracle. No, double 2. So 2 2, which is philosophers theorize that giving greater power to the peasantry may increase productivity. Could such a radical proposal work? So a little bit of role playing here then. Historical events. I rolled 1, and that was I rolled a 2 and a 2. So basically, I'm going to copy and paste because I can't be bothered to type it all out. So instead of asking the question, we'll just answer it straight away. Queen. What did I say her name was? This is awful, isn't it? I should be remembering this stuff. Queen Godwina. Queen Godwina agrees that the views of the people should be heard, and a committee of peasants is founded. A committee of peasants is formed. And I guess this is kind of like the House of Commons, but not quite the House of Commons yet. We're way too early for anything like that. It's similar, I guess. It's the people, the word of the people, having their voices heard by royalty, I guess. A committee of peasants is formed that will meet with royal, not actual royalty, but royal delegates. Is that the right word? I don't think it is the right word. Royal delegates to have their voices heard. Delegates isn't the right word, but I'm going to stick with that for the moment. Okay, right. So now we only have one event, which is a shame because there's quite a few different options. There's 36 different options for each category of rise, golden age, or fall. But now we find out how our queen died. So there is a table for that. Of course there is. So in death, again, we roll a d66, a 3 and a 3. We've got a lot of doubles. A lot of doubles. This must be some kind of record. I think I'll do the lottery tomorrow. Double 3 is at the hand of an assassin. So our queen was killed, murdered at the hands of an assassin. That gives us a point of weakness as well. So I'm just going to put +1. W +1 because that's how it's written in the book. W +1. Make sure I do actually put it in here. So when I say when one of these gets to 8, we've got tables to roll on. So at the hands of an assassin. I could do a little bit of roleplay here, but at the moment we don't have any sort of other characters in our world to introduce and to pretend that they were involved in this assassin. We could just say it was somebody who wanted a bit of power. One of the peasants didn't get their way. I don't know. I won't roleplay for this particular one, but the potential is there. So the queen is dead. We now have our heir takes over, and our heir was Alfwald. So King Alfwald, and again, let's roll on that table. King Alfwald the what? I roll a 6, 5, 6 and a 5, so it's King Alfwald the Wicked. Ooh, King Alfwald the Wicked. Okay, and they married. I'm going to roll first to find out where they. Were they foreign or were they, whatever they were, because it might change the name that I give them. Because if they're foreign, they might not necessarily have an Anglo-Saxon name. So, married someone who, and I roll a 3 and a 5. I marry someone from a noble house known for great beauty. So that's okay. So, of a noble house known for great beauty. B-E-A. I knew was I spelling that right? Of course I wasn't. B-E-A-U-T. Known for great beauty. So let's give her a name. I won't necessarily give this one a surname because we don't need to, because it doesn't have any impact on the name of the house, because Alfwold is still a Kilbeck. So, married, let's go over to my generator, stick with Anglo-Saxon names for the moment. Married, ooh, there's quite a few here that I quite like the look of. Begilda, yeah, okay, we'll go with Begilda. Married Begilda of a noble house known for great beauty. Children, must get more this time. Children, 2d6 for 5. Children, 5. Okay, 1d6 minus 4. 4 died during childhood. I've never had a game yet with so few children. Right, the first child, roll a 5, that's male. The second, roll a 3, that's male. The third, that's a 1, that's male. The fourth, roll a 6, that's female. So they had 5, 4 died, so the last one, a 2, that's female. So, which ones died? The first one, if I roll an odd, they died. A 2, they lived. The second one, a 3, they died. Died during childhood. Third, that's a 1, they died during childhood. So, the female died during childhood. And then the final female, a 4. So they lived. The male, roll on them again. They are a 1, so they died during childhood. You know what that means here. The throne will go to this female's... No, it will go to the female, won't it? Yeah, it will go to her. So our next monarch will be a queen again. Okay, let's give them some names. I'll do that off camera. I won't bore you with it. Okay, not 100% sure I'm going to pronounce all of these right, but in order of when they were born, Alderic, Sigalak, Ethelred, and Merwin. And the only survivor, the female, our future queen, Edwine, or would that be pronounced Edwin? I think I pronounce it Edwin. I quite like that. Edwin, she's the only survivor. So historic events. Let's scroll down for you here. So we've got historic events. How many do we get? Roll 1d6. 5. That's a lot more than last time. So let's get rolling on the booklet. So again, D66. 3, 3 is. Did we have that before? No, we had 2, 2 before. So 3, 3. A merchant requests funding for a voyage to distant lands with the aim of discovering new trade routes. Should we spend resources on such a risky gamble? I'm not going to put King. What's his name? King Alfild. A-E-L Feld. E-E-L Feld. King Alfild agrees to the proposal and but asks that they also scout for potential lands we could conquer. I'm going to spell conquer wrong here. I don't know, it hasn't come up with a spelling error, but it doesn't look right to me. Okay, the next one then. 4, 6. What does 4, 6 give us? 4, 6 is... A neighbouring kingdom encroaches on our borders, claiming our lands as theirs by ancient right. Our nobles call for a strong military response. Can we risk war? Well, seeing as we're only kind of role playing, yes, I'm going to go to war. So 4, 6, we go to war. We go to war with the foreign nobles, and we win. See, this is where I would love a bit of an expansion here. I would love a little mini game to find out how, do we win the war? What happens? I've kind of been on and off developing that exactly that. Kind of like a bit of an expansion on this game, a bit of an expansion on this idea with a few more mechanics, and you can take land, and you can be from a chief, you can become a duchy, and then you can become, a king, and then you can become, an emperor. Yeah, I'm kind of blabbering here, but it would be nice if this game had that, just that little bit more kind of what happens if we decide to go to war. Do we win? Be interesting to kind of have something that plays out like that. But let's go to our third event, and we roll a 5 and a 6. 5 and a 6 gives us a mysterious stranger offers access to ancient wisdom in return for the life of the monarch's first grandchild. Blimey, we haven't got any yet. If the offer is accepted, the kingdom moves into a golden age. Well, we can't really miss out on going into a golden age. So, yeah, I guess so. Again, there's no kind of mechanics around this. Going into offering our first grandchild to this guy, and yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I don't even know where to start role playing with regards to what is this ancient wisdom. Maybe they've discovered like a Stonehenge kind of place. They've discovered the discovery is a monument, a monument, that sits that lies on the top of a cliff in a distant unclaimed land. And I guess really, if we wanted to role play a little bit more, we now go and claim that land. Okay. So that's how many have we done now? We've done 3. We've got 2 more to go. I mean, some of these could come back. We could hark back at some of these, echo back to, we might get a future event. And we can say, oh, now we can say that was this and this happened here, and just who knows. So we're in the golden age. So we've rolled. I'm not going to take that roll away. It's a 3 and a 1 under golden age. And what I'm going to do as well is just change this just to show that we're now in a golden age. Golden age. I guess maybe I should wait until we've got a granddaughter or a grand. Did it say granddaughter? A grandchild. Okay. Maybe we should wait, but just for the purposes of this, no. So a 3 and a 1. Military leaders propose the creation of a new military force which will conduct warfare in a radical new way. Should we proceed? Who controls the new power? Okay, so now under Golden Age, we've got a 3 and a 1. Should I make a point of saying that this is Golden Age now? Yeah. Golden Age. Which means, I guess really, go right to the top here and just put rise there on our first monarch. So Golden Age 3-1. I can't remember if I copied that. Copy, paste. So the king forms the Royal Sea Army. I'm not going to call it Navy yet or anything, because again we're too. This is 2,000 years ago. This is so long ago. Words like Navy don't exist yet, but we know the word sea. We know the word ocean. So the king forms the Royal Sea Army and appoints points. See, we can't even use any. Again, when we've got a really big family tree, we can sort of appoint an uncle that we had or something. But at the moment, I'm just appoints a noble as first officer, as first general, captain. Let's just say captain. First captain. Again, it's not the right terminology to use, but 2,000 years ago in our fantasy world, that's what they would have been known as. So that's 4. That is 4 historical events. Our last one for this particular monarch, 1 and a 5. A 1, 5. That is, the monarch is badly injured and unable to discharge their usual duties. Who should act as regent? Does this appointment make them more loyal or less? Okay, copy and paste the main sentence there under, what was it? It was 1, 5. The regency is handed to the heir princess. And what was her name? Princess Edwine or Edwin. I do like Edwin. I think we use Edwin. Edwin. Princess Edwin. Okay. So that is that, I guess. Death. How does our king perish? 5, 5. Double 5 gives us, in an explosion? What explosives would they have had in those days? Unless some form of natural explosion? Like, there's natural gas that's been released, but obviously they don't know what natural gas is. They don't know it's there. There's just an explosion of fire. Maybe that's what we'll say. Maybe death in an explosion of fire. In an explosion of fire caused by an unknown entity. Religious leaders believe it to be the gods, capital G, the gods angry with our kingdom. Just a little bit of role playing there. Okay, Queen Edwin. I'm going to leave this episode there. Very different to what I normally do. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this gives you some inspiration to try games like this. I kind of got into these kind of things during COVID, and always been fascinated by role play, but never really got involved. Never really had any friends that played these sorts of games. And of course, during COVID, no one was doing it in groups, and I thought, well, I kind of stumbled upon solo role playing games, and I've just sort of been looking at various channels, YouTube channels, and all sorts of things, and just come across these sort of little casual games that are actually quite fun. I mean, I will do a family tree. It's probably not worth doing at the moment, just to nearly 3 generations in. But when I get to sort of 4 or 5 generations, I will produce a family tree, and I'll show you what how it sort of looks and everything. And like I said, it might get quite fun as well when we start looking at when it says a close family member. We can actually say, we can pinpoint it and say, right, it's this uncle or this auntie. It's so and so who did this in a previous historical event, or it might get quite fun. So hope you have enjoyed it though, and I'll see you all again soon. Give a good like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.